where Garcelle Beauvais stands with Kyle Richards and Andy Cohen now. Garcelle Beauvais has been living her best life since announcing her exit from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills back in March. Although the actress has since unfollowed some of the RHOBH cast members on Instagram, like Kyle Richards, she has been keeping in touch with others, like Andy Cohen. Garcelle took to her Instagram story earlier this week, where she celebrated Andy Cohen's birthday on June 2. The mom of three posted a photo of her and Andy at the Bravo Clubhouse from a previous appearance on Watch What Happens Live, posing in front of a step and repeat. Garcelle looked so chic in her long-sleeve black lace dress, while Andy sported a pinstriped suit. "Happy birthday," she wrote over the photo in colorful font, tagging Andy as well. This post to her story comes on the heels of Andy's comments on her Instagram post, where she formally announced her departure from RHOBH. "An incredible run from an incredible human," he commented on the post. "Bravo." Andy also took to his SiriusXM radio show, Radio Andy, in March, where he gave some reasoning behind Garcelle's departure from RHOBH. "She let me get into where her head was at, and there was not only stuff with the show, but the kids are entering their senior year," he explained. "And I really respect the fact that it was one of the most real conversations that it ended where it ended, but I would say it ended with her saying, 'I've got to choose kind of my life.'" Kyle Richards reveals if she's spoken to Garcelle Beauvais after the RHOBH Season 14 reunion. But when it comes to talking to other RHOBH cast members, it's been a toss-up. Kyle took to briefing on Bravo Live on Thursday, May 29, where she admitted that she has not heard from Garcelle since the RHOBH Season 14 reunion taping in February. "Everybody's kind of perplexed," she admitted. I don't know. I don't even know what happened there." Kathy Hilton reveals where she stands with Garcelle Beauvais today. But Kyle's older sister, Kathy Hilton, has seen and heard from Garcelle since she walked off the set of the RHOBH Season 14 reunion, as seen in the video above. "I called her, obviously, right when I walked off the set from the reunion and talked to her. I haven't asked what caused Garcelle to walk out, because I don't want to push," Kathy told Briefing on Bravo in May. "They have hung out since. And then we ended up having dinner with a friend, like 2 days later," she continued. "And I tried not to bring up too much because I just wanted her to know that she's very loved and will be missed." And everybody was shocked. The graceful exit, when Garcelle stood still. The silence after the storm. The lights had gone dim on Stage B at the Bravo studios. The RHOBH Season 14 reunion had wrapped just minutes earlier, but the air still buzzed with residual tension. Garcelle Beauvais stood outside in the lot beneath the early evening sky of Los Angeles, the last pink hues of the sunset casting a soft glow on her face. She'd walked off the set hours earlier, and no one had followed. Her heels clicked softly on the pavement as she reached her car, her hand trembling slightly as she unlocked the door. She wasn't angry anymore, just tired. A weariness that came from years of smiling through tension, deflecting passive jabs, and holding grace in rooms filled with everything but. Inside her Range Rover, she finally exhaled. It was over. Love letters and lace dresses. 2 months passed before Garcelle posted anything remotely RHOBH related. She'd been focusing on her boys, her upcoming production projects, and quietly enjoying dinners with friends, many of whom existed far outside the Bravo universe. Then June 2 arrived. She opened her Instagram app and scrolled past countless birthday wishes for Andy Cohen. Her finger paused over a picture from 2 years ago, her and Andy, backstage at Watch What Happens Live. She remembered that night well. Andy had insisted she stay after the taping to sip tequila and talk about raising black sons in America, something that had become a signature subject of their off-camera conversations. She posted the photo to her story with a caption in festive colors. Happy birthday, Bravo Andy. Thank you for always being real with me. The response was almost immediate. Andy reposted it with 3 heart emojis, then texted her a string of confetti GIFs followed by, "You looked fire that night. Lace dress equals a moment. Let's catch up soon. Proud of you always." Garcelle smiled and set the phone down. That kind of love, she thought, was enough. Kyle's confusion. Elsewhere in Beverly Hills, Kyle Richards sipped her green smoothie and scrolled through her notifications. Her name had started trending again. Some Bravo fan account had reposted an excerpt from her briefing on Bravo interview. "Have you heard from Garcelle since the reunion?" Kyle. Everybody's kind of perplexed. I don't even know what happened there. She hadn't lied. The last time they spoke was at the reunion. And even then, the conversation was more sideways glances than spoken words. She remembered Garcelle's face that day, not angry, but absent, distant. It wasn't the kind of silence that begs for a response. It was the kind that comes after a decision has already been made. Still, Kyle had felt the sting of being unfollowed on Instagram. It had been public, calculated even. But what bothered her most wasn't the unfollow. It was the complete lack of goodbye. Kathy's call. Kathy Hilton was the only one who'd followed Garcelle into the void, metaphorically speaking. She had barely stepped off the reunion stage when she dialed Garcelle's number. It was instinct. The same maternal instinct that made her bring Garcelle tea and Advil after late tapings. The phone had barely rung once before Garcelle picked up. "Hi," Garcelle said quietly. "Oh, honey," Kathy replied. That was a lot. They didn't talk about the walk-off. They didn't need to. 2 days later, they were sitting at Giorgio Baldi with a mutual friend, sharing branzino and wine, barely mentioning RHOBH. Kathy didn't pry. Instead, she talked about her charity work, Nikki's kids, and Paris's new fragrance line. Garcelle appreciated it more than Kathy knew. "You're very loved, you know," Kathy said gently, her hand briefly resting over Garcelle's. "They're all just a little shocked." "I needed to choose my life," Garcelle whispered. Standing still. The Bravo universe was ever-evolving, chaotic, and relentless. But Garcelle found her peace in the stillness. She began journaling again, something she hadn't done in years. Her entries weren't bitter. If anything, they read like soft memoirs from someone who had finally come home to herself. One entry read, "I learned a long time ago that silence speaks louder than confrontation. When you leave the room and no one runs after you, that's your answer." She stayed friendly with Sutton and Crystal, exchanging voice notes and cute dog memes, but she didn't re-enter the group chat. She didn't need to. Then, one Tuesday morning, her phone buzzed. It was from Kyle. "Hey, I know we haven't talked. I just saw your post about Andy. You looked great. Hope you're good. Dinner sometime." It wasn't dramatic, just simple, human. After several long minutes, Garcelle typed back, "Hi Kyle, thank you, I'm good. I hope you are too. I'm open to dinner. Just the two of us." That was all. No formal reconciliation. No Bravo cameras. Just a simple invitation to reconnect. Bravo's behind the scenes. Meanwhile, Andy Cohen was preparing a new primetime Bravo special, Behind the Housewife Curtain, a documentary-style deep dive into the real lives of housewives, past and present. He personally requested Garcelle as one of the focal voices. In the pre-interview meeting, he asked, "Do you regret it?" She shook her head. Not one bit. "What do you want people to know?" he asked. Garcelle looked into the camera lens and said, "That sometimes walking away is the only way to stand up for yourself. And that's okay." He turned to his producer and said, "That's the trailer quote." The reunion no one saw months later. Garcelle and Kyle finally met for dinner at a quiet restaurant in Brentwood. No pap photos, no makeup teams. Just two women, finally stripped of the Bravo armor. They ordered the same drink, dirty martinis, extra olives, and eased into the evening with laughter about their kids, mutual acquaintances, and the absurdity of living half their lives on camera. Eventually, Kyle leaned in. I really didn't know how much it was hurting you. I think I just assumed you were okay. I was until I wasn't, Garcelle said softly. They didn't rehash the reunion, but they acknowledged the gap and, in doing so, bridged it. As they hugged goodbye under the soft glow of the streetlights, Garcelle whispered, "Thank you for reaching out." Kyle nodded. "Thank you for replying." The final word. Andy Cohen's special aired that fall. Garcelle's segment was one of the most talked about moments, not because it was scandalous, but because it was honest. Raw, unfiltered. In it, she said, "I never expected to become a symbol. I just wanted to be seen. And when that stopped happening, I had to stop participating. But I'll always be grateful for the friendships that lasted and for the ones that found their way back." The camera panned to footage of her hugging Kyle outside that Brentwood restaurant. And in that moment, the world saw something rare in reality television. Not drama, but dignity. Standing with. At the next BravoCon, Garcelle made a surprise appearance, not on a RHOBH panel, but during Andy's keynote. She walked out to thunderous applause, her radiant smile stealing the spotlight.